Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Heather, will you do roll call?
I will. I have Bill Purcell,
Here, I'm sorry.
Ken Sebastian,
Here.
Daniel Browning,
Here.
Donna McIntyre is not going to be here. Amy Meyer will not be here. Norman Warner.
Here.
Bill Folk.
Here.
Alfio Saita.
Here.
Chad's still on?
He is not. I need to fix the agenda. He is not.
That's the one spot we.
Okay, well, I saw his name there. All right. We have before you minutes of the last meeting.
Well, if there's no objections, I move to approve the minutes as written.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those please raise your right hand. Six oh. Old business. We're going to do a continued review of the ordinances, and I asked Heather, because it's like 600 pages.
Right.
So pull it up, and we're going to take it bite at a time. I don't expect us to get through the 600 pages tonight. So it begins with subdivision types. And, Bill, I'll let you kind of leave things to you. 'Cause
And if you want to swap the spots, I'm going to hope it's going to let you make edits and save them on here as we talk.
Okay.
If there's any that they approve and talk through.
Bill, I just want to say, excellent work.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you. It was more work than I thought it was going to be.
It always is, but you've done a really good job with them.
So just for clarity, just in case people are wondering what's happening here. So Bill's the one that made these edits. So I talked to Bill about this. I think it makes the most sense if you guys make some agreement. I don't know if the computer system's gonna let me do it through Word here. But if you guys all come to an agreement on an edit that you like or don't like, want to change, make those changes in real time on the document here with a new mark in the system, so we don't have to go back. I will take notes here while we do it also, in case this won't save, because Microsoft is acting like it's maybe not gonna let me make those edits.
We can't get it on that screen, so that's all we can see.
Norm, do you know how to?
I would be nearer getting into this one than I would that one.
Would anyone object to Polly?
Using that screen?
No, come on up.
Not at all.
Come on up.
Not at all. Come up, Polly.
You can put that up on the fire. You'd be all right.
I appreciate
I mean, we're talking about things that you can't see, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if that makes sense for everyone, I think it makes sense. If he can type them, I can make notes here. That way we're,
Speak now or forever hold
Could
your
we make like the changes like in a different color or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's-
should.
that
That's what it
should-
should do.
it should allow that if
Yeah.
Microsoft cooperates
So
with
like
me
if it's
here.
in red and we approved it, make it green or something?
Exactly, exactly.
Just don't use the word red.
Correct.
So the strike through is proposed removals, right? That's
Correct.
That's what I understood. Okay.
Correct.
Red is additions.
Correct. Yeah, so just quick overview. All I did was try to go through and simplify as much as I could, as well as put in verbiage that would make sense for Owen County. And so what I'll do is I have no rhyme or reason of how I did it, other than thinking about the county and what would probably work here. So I have no connection. If you don't like something in there, say it, because I have no connection to that whatsoever. I just tried to put it together so it'd be easier for us to talk about. So I'll just start rolling through it. Is there any particular page that someone wants to start on, so there's some that we can just skip?
Well, let's just start at the beginning and
Okay.
get what you've got there.
All right, so this first page, all I did was just entered in Owen County, Indiana, removed the UDO verbiage, and correct a typo.
I think that should say of instead of as on Owen County though. I mean, that's,
Oh,
it's
yep.
a little thing, but
Yep, let's get that. It's easy
might as
enough.
well fix it while we're here and then
Yep.
we won't miss it.
Let's see if it'll let me fix it or not. Uh-oh, it
See,
might
this
not.
is what I was worried about. It's
Well,
acting
It
like,
says unlicensed product, so obviously we gotta talk to IT and get some of these
Yeah.
turned on.
It's not gonna let me make changes on the fly,
Right.
so
Okay.
So
unfortunately.
you can make a note of that, just
Okay.
of instead of as.
All right, so let me go down to.
I will make page number marker notes. We will go old school paper. I can work on that.
Since page 2, since this was a subdivision ordinance and this was a commercial verbiage, I just removed all of that. Okay, traditional subdivision, okay. Might want to talk about this one a little bit. As I was reading through this, I started thinking about Owen County and the fact that we want developments in Owen County, but we also want developments that make sense and they're in the right place. So as I was reading through this, I felt that this was way too constrictive for our county. I mean, and that was just my input. I'm trying to read through here and I'm going, okay, wow. If it takes me longer than 5 minutes to read something and try to figure out what it's going to mean, I think that's probably too detailed for our county. So that's the reason I just struck through this. Assuming if someone's going to bring us a subdivision to look at, we want to put our eyes on it and look at what the land is giving to that subdivision and then make a determination of what we'd be comfortable with inside of that subdivision. So that's why I just struck through everything.
I do like what you added there. I mean, that's kind of a rationale for,
Oh,
you know, what we're saying.
yeah. And that's one of the things as I was going through here. When you're writing an ordinance, a rule, a policy, procedure, whatever it may be, having nothing is just as bad as having something too constrictive. So that was kind of the tone that I used through this is, if there was verbiage in here and we needed it, okay, leave it in there. If it was too restrictive, I tried to either remove it or give us the ability to make a variance to that. And if it was just lacking, and however, I didn't find a lot of stuff that was just lacking, but if it was just lacking and I thought it probably needed it, I went ahead and added it in. Let's see here, sidewalks. I just added in some additional verbiage on this page and took out some verbiage. Anybody see anything on that page?
On covenants, it says covenants are required, are we requiring covenants on everything, or?
We are. There's a separate, as I recall, there's a whole separate paragraph that talks about covenants. And so I addressed it in there, and if I remember correctly, I simplified the verbiage that was in here. So this just points to a different section where there's more detail at.
And there again, if we have them, then it's on the property owner to put them together, and then we can look at them and make suggestions. If we don't have that in there, then it's the wild, wild west.
And
Right.
covenants come in very handy for subdivision developers later, because then I have a lot of people that come to me later with older subdivisions that didn't have covenants, and they have no rules, and they're so frustrated because they can't relate back to those covenants that didn't exist back then.
And where it comes into play, Ken, we've been asked to take over a road out by Polly, or not too far from Polly, and that goes into a subdivision, and the first question is always, well, do you have an HOA or a covenant? Because if they do, if there's already something in place to take care of the road, then obviously the county don't want to take over it too. So, and like I said, if it's in there, then they develop it, and then we can go back and say, well, that's probably a bit more than what we need, or no, we would also like to see this. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts on it. You guys obviously, you know, can do what you want to do with that, but I think we're better with it in there, but.
Anything else before I hit the next page?
Should we maybe jump to the covenant section now to look at that?
That's going to make it really difficult on, because I don't know where it's at.
Okay, I can tell you exactly where it is,
Okay?
if you want to do that. If not, we can just continue. It's
Anybody?
section D.
What's that?
Section D, as in dog.
What page?
Um,
If you're on Word, it should be at the bottom left of your screen.
it's page 8, maybe? No,
It's
sorry,
15.
15.
Page 15? Everybody want me to jump to 15?
Sure.
Okay,
Remember, we were at 4.
yep. First thing, let's see here. Is it moving for me? I have to click, maybe I gotta click on. There we go, okay, now it's
Yeah.
catching up. 14. There we go, okay, I'll make it 15. Where's it at? That's 14.
Now you're on 16.
What's that?
Now you're on 16.
Yeah, I don't see it on 15.
This is 15, this is some of
15, number C, or
Bill, you should probably be able to do Control F and just find covenants. I don't know if you have slightly different page numbers than I have
I
myself.
think his problem is he's on an unlicensed version. And
Yeah,
not
so
being
it's
very
really
playing very
limited over
nice.
here on
Yeah,
this side.
Okay,
I'm
if-
not-
If it's too complicated, let's just go through it on the regular.
Well, let's walk through it. Like I said, it's,
The worst page.
this is just how it was built, so
You're fine.
just kind of run through it.
We'll get there eventually.
Let me see, let me get back to page 4, which I gotta go way up here. Subdivisions types. Okay. Okay, so, I'm gonna go right here. I put a note, check current definitions to match, because I don't think these are current definitions. And I didn't want to jump back and forth between different documents to try and figure it out, since this thing was so big, but we need to match this up to whatever our current definitions are. Minimum open space. I alluded to this a minute ago. I put to be determined during the approval process based on the unique characteristics of the area to be conserved. Because as I was reading through this, I was like, okay, if you start talking about a conservation district, the reason you're doing that is you're going to allow more density because of the open space. And quite honestly, it's hard to put any sort of requirements in there until you see what sort of area that you're talking about, how much open space, how much conserved space. So that's why I totally went away from trying to define anything and just said, we need to figure that out when something's presented to us. So, let's see here. And that goes along with the next piece on base density. And I did add the requirement in here, whenever you're talking about density, I put the note that it really needs to be focused on municipality connectability for water and sewer primarily. Because you can get pretty dense if you got that, and if you don't have it, I mean, it's all going to be based on a soil test and all that, so you never know what you're going to have.
And that in and of itself will control kind of where we can go with any of that, because we've
Yeah.
only got very few areas in this county that have
Yeah.
access to that.
Yeah, and that statement I made, wherever it was, there's several different places where that's touched on in this document, and I went back and reinforced that in each one of those sections as well. So any more questions on that page? Okay, seeing none, I will move forward. Let's see here. Oh, down here at the bottom of this page, you see where there's the question marks and it says PC for Planning Commission.
I guess I don't see that where you at.
Sidewalks.
Probably next
Under
sidewalk.
sidewalks.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if that's really this department or at this area, or if that's a different part of county government that should be talking about sidewalks. So I left that as an open item. So anywhere you see question marks, that's something I had no idea what should go in there.
On the one that we've done that actually has sidewalks, it was us, 4 Oaks.
They are usually included in part of the plats on subdivisions submitted.
Okay. So we would add this body in there as the recommending body?
Yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, there's only one that we actually have that on, and it's at 4 Oaks, but that was part of their design, if you will.
Got it. Okay. Okay, this one, open space. I just put a note here, discuss in detail how much of this is needed. Because here again, my thought was, we probably just need to see what we're looking at before we would make a decision.
So you thinking leave the 40% in there or take it out?
I think I'd just take it out and say case by case, dependent on, you know, the overall plan. Because here again, me personally, until I see it, I don't know what I'm working with. So if I start defining it, next thing I know, if I define it, and you have someone that comes in here and they meet that requirement, and it's something that is not appropriate, our hands are pretty much tied at that point. That's why.
If you're gonna try to get density and you got water and sewer, 40% is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's nearly half.
35%, and you say, nope, sorry,
Yeah.
because we couldn't quite get it.
Yeah. And I think our county's small enough, you know, when a developer would come in with something like this, they're gonna run it by Heather. You know, Heather's probably gonna run it by a couple of us and get a feel for what it needs to be, and then tell that developer, okay, I think you need to go this direction on it, and then they can bring us something that would at least be within bounds. But here again, if we define it,
Yeah,
That
if you
creates
put a
a-
number in there, we're stuck to it.
yeah.
If you leave it at the discretion of, then we're better off, I think.
Mhm.
Can I raise a devil's advocate position
Sure.
on this question? Bill, I think we're seeing this eye to eye as far as, like, we don't want to make this too cumbersome, okay? So in principle and in theory, I agree with you. The only position I'd want to raise as far as a devil's advocate position here would be that, given the history of how things have been done at times in Owen County, specifically with the, let's say, the importance of certain personal relationships and connections, particularly when it comes to certain developers and this board and other boards in the past, I'm not impugning anyone here, I would say that it might make sense to stick with the 40%, because this is, you know, this document is very developer friendly. If you can't come up with the subdivision that's at least 40% open, you're really doing something very, very, very wrong. And if we leave this number off the page, then we're creating the possibility for those friendly relations between developers and to create a certain level of influence that maybe we don't want. So I think sometimes there is a rationale for having a number on the page that then people can sort of point to and say, well, you know, it's not just, you know, it's not a personal reaction to your application, but in fact we have this standard that we're trying to defend. I mean, you know, the size of the lots that we're talking about, 40% is a significant amount of space. They should be able to meet that. I mean, if you're building rim to rim in Owen County on a subdivision, it doesn't fit, right? This
Right.
is, it's not fitting here. So,
The only thing I would correct you on, that happens in other counties too. If you went
sure,
the bypass and where Kroger is now was a marsh,
yes.
that was a wooded hillside. Gray Brothers wanted to buy that and put a restaurant there, and the city fathers in Bloomington said, no, we want the aesthetic value of that highway, of that woods.
Mhm.
And then he sold it, and then someone from Bloomington bought it, and there's a marsh store.
Right, exactly, right. Well,
That happens everywhere. That's the problem with planning and zoning.
exactly, no, agreed. Well, that's why, that more to my point, to put something, at least we'd have 40% of the woods left in that case, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't change anything here because I really didn't
Right.
have much an opinion, and I thought maybe the group needs to chew on it a little bit and figure out what we want in there, or keep it as is.
You guys always have the option of maybe modifying that number too, if you feel like there needs to stay a number, but you can't maybe agree, or there's always the option of looking at what number you want there.
I don't like the 40%, I think that's too high myself.
So what would be a good compromise number there?
I kind of like to have it at the discretion of the board.
You've got to look at the market. If you're building houses that are going to have 55 and older, they don't want much to mow, which is what you're talking about, open space. You know, if you got 10 kids, you want a big yard to play. I mean, you gotta look, you look at White Oaks,
Those people are gonna be looking for a 5-acre
yeah.
rural lot, not a dense, so.
Now, also keep in mind, this is for a conservation subdivision.
Right. And maybe that's the key, with the conservation subdivision, maybe we need the
Yeah,
higher
we're being
percentage.
conservation, then 40% isn't
Mhm.
such a bad.
Assuming we're conserving
Right.
wildlife and trees and grass, right?
Mhm.
So,
But then you look at all the stuff that's not included in the open space, you know, cemeteries, drainage ditches, retention ponds, lakes.
No portion
So you have to have 40% plus that area.
It could be as simple as saying, keep it at 40%, and less or more would be considered on a case-by-case basis.
with variance.
Right. I mean, for reference, I just quickly did the math, just to put some actual real-world numbers to this. A 1-acre lot, 40% of it would be 17,000 square feet. So 1-acre lot is around 44,000 square feet. So 40% would be 17,000, which leaves you 26,000 and change square feet to do other things with, if you wanted to do that. So, I mean, it's not a very onerous, I mean, again, these documents are notoriously developer friendly. I mean, this was written by people who want development. So 40% is not a very high threshold. It's on the low side, I would say.
More comments? Are you happy with leaving the 40% in on conservation then?
On a conservation one, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. This bonus density incentive, I just took this all out.
Yeah.
Because here again, there's just too much information for anyone to really figure out. Once you've got a subdivision, then you start doing bonuses and all that. It just, to me, it didn't make a lot of sense.
Well, I don't know that it's manageable,
Exactly.
and
I'm sitting there
especially in
trying-
our limited.
I was trying to figure out what it meant and reading it, and it, like I said, if it took me more than 5 minutes, it probably didn't need to be in there.
I mean, you know, they're trying to reward you if, you know, but then we have to have somebody to police it.
Right.
And what happens if they get the bonuses and they decide they're gonna do it their own way anyway? Then what happens?
Right.
Because once it's there, it's almost impossible to get it changed.
Right.
Most all of our problems are deal with administrative,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, enforcement.
Right.
Administrative.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we can have all the rules in the world, but until we get something that's enforceable.
Yes.
So now we're on minor subdivision. We get a lot of these, I would assume.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I didn't change a whole lot on here, I just cleaned some stuff up. Here again, under districts permitted, I didn't check the different districts, so we probably need to check that.
We really only have agricultural and residential. We don't have like residential 1, 2, and 3, ag 1 and 2. We just have ag and residential.
They were in the document that will not be mentioned, but
Yes,
they're.
and we don't
we're
split
not
them up
using
like
those.
that. We just have one or the other. There's not a bunch of layers to it, so.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, probably the biggest change I made here was the driveway. So you can read the verbiage there and see if we need to make some changes there. This is one of those examples where I added in where, okay, if this doesn't work for someone, we can always grant some type of an exception.
So this basically changes to allow for an easement.
Mhm.
Now, one of the problems I see, hopefully, we're done seeing them, but they would do these developments and they'd say, and all the people will join together to pay maintenance on the road. And 10 pay and 30 do not. The guy at the very end says, well, I want you all to pay. The guy in front says, I'm not using that driveway, why should I pay? I mean, and I always said that should be a problem, we go back on the developer for not writing that right. I think yours is out of Kelly Farms, I believe that.
No, surely not. No. Autumn Hills is not that way.
You know, but Frank Stewart and John Wardwell did a lot of those, and they sounded good.
Well, it ends up being whoever will, and the rest of them.
Well, and even Sunridge Acres, when they opened it up, and they had a good plan. When a lot sold, you put $100 in a pot, you paid $10 a month.
I'm not sure
And-
I put the word based in there.
Whenever the road needed gravel or something, you had money to do it.
We can
You
take
know,
that out.
And they went to court, and the judge ruled they couldn't do that. So now I think they're still coming back to you guys, wanting you guys to take over those roads.
So everybody likes the recorded easement?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. The other part down here at the bottom of the page, under design standards for subdivision, this is an example that I talked about earlier. All design standards for the subdivision shall comply with all applicable ordinances unless a variance is presented and approved by the appropriate county department. So I try to make an all-encompassing statement that you can't say, oh, I met your requirements. Well, okay, yeah, you met this body's requirements, but there's other requirements across the county that also need to be met. That was one of the things, as I was reading through it, I didn't see a lot of that. So that seemed like that was a loophole that we probably needed to close. Okay, homestead subdivision. I don't think I made a lot of changes here.
What's the yellow?
That was already in there. I
Okay.
have no idea what that was for.
Like they're just highlighting the fact that it's one homestead and not.
So I made a note here under homestead lot. The homestead lot must contain all of the sewage and water facilities associated with the primary structure. Access to these facilities may not be allowed by easement. So when it said may not be allowed by easement, for some reason that troubled me. So I wanted to just point this out and see what everybody else thought on it.
Well, I can tell you what happened out there by us is we had adjoining lots that one person had bought, drilled one well, ran both places off of it, then one sold. So now what?
Right.
You gotta drill a well.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that's what they're kind of saying. I guess you could grant the other house an easement to use your well, but no one's gonna do that unless it's family.
Right.
So, is that kind of what you're thinking, Bill? I mean,
Well, and there also was cases where a septic failed and there wasn't any place to put a new
Right.
field. So you got a septic easement from the neighbors.
yeah. Which I don't like the idea
Yeah,
of
that
finger
sounds
systems or, septic things going into
Because then
the
your
next
neighbor
neighbor
moves
over.
in and then they don't like you and they tear
Right.
your septic out.
Well, just because you get along with the person that owns it today, doesn't mean
Doesn't
5
mean
years from
tomorrow.
now.
Well, but if you had an easement. it was a
Easement would
little
protect
line.
it, yeah.
I think that would make it hard to sell the original property at that point, because they're buying an easement into their place for somebody else.
I can tell you where some of those are.
Oh, everything we've got in here exists here somewhere,
Yeah.
so.
Paul,
Oh, well, what do you think?
forwarded to you.
So is everybody, so this would just be for new stuff going
I'll try to
forward, is
remember.
everyone comfortable with that statement?
Yeah, I think we want to stay away from easements for that.
Okay, so that was good.
Leave that one in there,
Talked
okay.
Let's see here, check zoning again. Exempt subdivision. I had a question mark, what is an ILP, but I think I figured that out later. Let's see here. There's not much on this page. I didn't change much of anything, I don't think. No. Was everybody okay with that page? I'm just,
Yes.
okay. Subdivision design standards. I just took out the reference to commercial and industrial because it's not appropriate in this area. And then I did add in county ordinances, but also on some of the stuff, state and federal requirements, like I think of like water runoff, water retention, those sort of things, that's going to be more dictated by a higher level than us. Here again, when I was thinking, and I could see a developer saying, okay, I met your requirements. Okay, yeah, we've got our requirements too, but you've also got state and federal requirements. So,
Sometimes that trumps us.
yeah, that always trumps us.
Yeah.
We got approval to build the horse barn at the fairgrounds in the county. And then we got a $5,000 fine because we
Yep.
had to go through the state. But
Yes.
the person in the building department said, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So you'll see me adding this sort of verbiage in a lot of different sections going forward. So hopefully everybody's good with that. Let's see here. Okay, extension of structure. This was just an example where I could see different departments or different areas besides our area needing to have a say-so into something like this.
Where would that be?
I don't know.
Oh,
I,
so you could see it.
I could see, well, let me see here, let me see, extension of infrastructure. Extended to the boundary lines of the person. Oh, so here again, if we approve the subdivision itself, is this body, and it goes up to the next level too, right, for the final approval. But if we do that, and let's say we need to run water lines to it, I don't think we control water lines. I think is that municipal water is a different corporate entity.
It's a private.
It's a private company. Or sewer is probably a part of the county, and so we do control that.
Right now, the only sewer we have is town.
Yeah. So I put that verbiage in there because what happens if we don't
All right.
have the final say-so? Everybody?
I could see where they would need an easement. If the water and sewer came later, they might need an easement through some lots in order to get to others, possibly. I could see that.
So that would need to stand separate from the subdivision approval process.
Right.
Which is why the language makes
Correct.
sense.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, and this is just more continuation of that same verbiage. And here again, I just had the question mark. Here again, I assume that's us, but I didn't. They had plan commission, I'm assuming is what PC stood for, so I'm assuming that stays the same.
Which is kind of interesting, because let's go back to a real world thing. We have a facility right with telephone poles. The state law says they're supposed to put down a thing to keep that from getting in the ground, and they never did.
So on this next page, this is a big one. Under general, you'll notice I added in the word comprehensive plan because I've noticed this body referring to the comprehensive plan a lot, which is absolutely appropriate, but it wasn't in here. So I wanted to put it in first position if that would be the first thing we'd look at. And then under item B, let's see here. Oh, I just put, do we want a private drive in here?
And I would say yes.
So keep in mind, this is a subdivision, having access to another road via a private road. Okay with that?
Well, we have several of them that are that way.
Well, I mean, you have people move here from the city and they want to be as far away from everybody as they can, but they're buying in the subdivision.
Right.
But they don't want everybody running up and down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we leave private in there as well.
Okay. So leave that one in there.
And that's been a point of contention out there around us too, especially in, well, it doesn't matter where it's at.
So here again, I had a question mark on item D. Is it the plan commission, is the road department, whatever we call the road department?
But we require the
I'd say
highway
that,
department crew.
you know, any kind of road issue is highway department.
Okay. That was what I was thinking. It originally had this body in here, so right here you're saying this should be the highway department.
It's part of the requirements for each subdivision.
Okay, what was this one? This is just another question here. Since it's related to roads, would that still be the highway? So this one would be the highway department as well.
If it's coming,
If it's a state road, then it's Department of Transportation, but
Oh, yeah. Let's add that in there too, if it's a state highway, the state highway department. Okay, let's see here. I think we're down to this one.
but if it's easement or right away from the subdivision, within the subdivision that provides access to the public road, that would be the plan commission up until it meets that road,
So this one would be the plan commission. Okay,
up until it meets the road, it would be.
okay. Okay, number 2.
We don't have freeways, expressways, we can probably scratch that.
So is this the plan commission as well on this one?
Onto the roads. Yes, that would be plan commission because that's controlling access from, that's
subdivision.
from the subdivision, yeah,
Okay. Okay,
correct?
okay, what is this one? Subdivision entrances. I just added in here exceptions to call it out.
I don't,
Those
two separate public roads may be an issue for us in Owen County. I agree with the 2 entrances, exits, I just don't know that they, I mean, it'd be nice if they could be on 2 different roads, but I don't, it may not just, may not be
Depends what it is.
feasible in some areas.
Yeah, depends where it is.
Yeah. So maybe we leave something in there about this would be on an as neat case basis.
That's what
That's what it says.
Yeah,
So
we're
you
following
have a
lines,
case-by-case
what you're
basis.
asking for now.
Exceptions on a case-by-case basis?
That's what, yeah, that's
Okay,
what he added.
Never mind,
Yep.
I see it.
He felt the same way, no?
I felt the same way, Norm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's in the middle of one stretch of road, obviously, then you can only come out on that road, but that's kind of where I was going, but,
And then number 1 further addresses your
Okay.
point.
right,
All right, everybody good with that one?
I'm good.
Okay. So
I
this
should
one,
read
I
ahead before I talk.
just didn't know on this
It's
one.
just the nature of the document. That's what written.
By the,
Plan.
this body or the highway department?
This one's tricky because I feel like in this case, the plan commission makes that decision, but the highway could definitely have a say-so in this.
But we always check with the highway.
Yeah.
You want to put, we could put the plan department makes the decision based on a recommendation from the highway department?
I mean, they have to get their driveway permits and stuff, which is in essence the highway department saying, yes, this is okay. If they don't give them a highway permit, then they're done right there.
So it should just be the highway department?
Or the plan commission.
I know the plan commission.
I think part of our documentation has to be, I have my highway permits. That tells us the highway department has weighed in on it. When they
Okay.
come with their proposal, that has to be part of the package.
As determined by permitting from the highway department.
Yes, that would be fine. Is it on down there? Is it in the next chapter? I mean, that's our indication that the highway department has signed off on it, basically, and then we can
Okay.
move on. But
Okay, everybody good with that one? Okay.
Can you scroll up a little bit
Yep.
so I can see what we're,
Which category it is?
subdivision
Division
entrances?
Yep. Okay, this one, item 3, move to the top of the page. The number of separate entrances required and the locations of these entrances shall be determined by PC?
Yep.
Okay. Pedestrian access. This one looks like the plan commission to me. Okay. Yeah, this one I just typed in the words instead of, I don't like abbreviations. Lot arrangement, block shall comply with the following dimensions unless the plan commission determines longer length. Okay, so that sounds like this body. Item B, a minimum of 400 feet but shall not exceed. They had 2,600, which I just thought was long.
Since I have, no, they have.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe even something shorter's appropriate, I don't know.
there again, that could change based on the character of what we're looking at.
You got a development of large tracts.
Right, if it's large tracts, that's too close. If it's 3 per acre, that's, you know,
But this is minor subdivision.
I don't have a scroller. Is this a minor subdivision?
This is, I think we're,
No, this is general.
this is in general.
General.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't read that
We could add the verbiage in, would be determined on a case-by-case basis dependent upon the overall design of the subdivision.
What do you think?
I think you already have that essentially with point A, which says that, right, there's
Yep.
exceptions based on planning, so
Mhm.
I think you're good. The sizes you've outlined there seem very reasonable to me. I don't know.
Okay.
Anybody else has
Because
any-
you always do a variance.
Right.
Okay. This next one, the plan commission may require pedestrian ways, easements, and crosswalks through the center of blocks. I just took out a bunch of stuff here. Because a lot of it just didn't seem appropriate to us. Or like in the example of drainage and utilities and all that, most of that's addressed in different areas.
Do you think you need to do about your circulation of a period of comma?
Ah,
I think the key word there is may. That gives us a lot of flexibility.
Okay. Let's see what else here. Let's go down to what I remove here. Oh, this is more commercial verbiage here. Let's move forward. Here's the covenant standards we were looking for earlier. And probably the most material thing is down under item C. I just added in the verbiage again. Must be in alignment with county, state, and any federal ordinances or laws. Does that look okay? You'll see through a lot of the document I added in building administrator rather than just administrator. Because, okay, you could see someone going to an administrator in a totally different area that has no authority, saying, oh yeah, you can do that, when it's not the right person. Everybody good with that page?
And that was very well done on 4.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Here again, I removed the drainage stuff because that's covered in a whole different area. And here's the drainage area.
I'm not too sure if that should not say state and federal requirements.
I think I'm state and federal. I'm with you there, Bill.
State, federal, and local.
So add in federal. Anything else? Let's see here. What did it say? Let's see, I'm changing it. On item B, I changed it from.
Do you want to see what we're talking about? We can't put it up on the screen, so.
I changed it from 10 days to 15 days because we all know if you get around a weekend, you get holidays, and all that, by the time the mail gets to you, and then you've got a person boxed into a corner, still 15 days you're asking them to correct something really quickly, and you're not quite pushing them into a corner the same way you are 10 days.
The other way to handle that would be leave it 10 days, but just say 10 working days. Or,
Yep, could do that too. That was just more words for me to type. Everybody good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with the 10 working days, that sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I think 10 working days.
10 working days, okay.
We've got a couple of those drainage issues.
I just thought, I'm not sure why this is in the subdivision section, so I didn't go ahead and remove it based on my lack of knowledge. Maybe there's a reason for it to be in here, or is there a reason we just strike it out of the subdivision ordinance?
I don't know that it,
Emergency sirens, I think would be EMS.
that'd be
That's-
EMA, but I don't know that it needs to be in the
Yeah, I don't know.
subdivision ordinances.
No.
I think you can strike that,
Okay.
unless somebody knows something I don't.
Unless that would, if we, something about putting sirens in subdivisions. Very sure if you had a 200 lot subdivision.
Yeah,
it would
I would think the
They would-
people in there would raise Cain if we tried to stick
Yeah.
one of them in the middle of a 200 home. Plus, we don't have the density of those things to do that anyway. I mean, we're trying to get as much coverage as possible.
So I add, here under design, we're under mailboxes now. And so in this section, I'm not sure why we would even be dealing with this ourselves, but
I think you're correct to have postmasters.
What's that?
I think you're correct, having postmaster.
Postmaster in there? Okay.
Let's see,
What's
leave
your
that in the
title?
postmaster's hands, and the rest of it looks fine.
To go up a little
This
bit.
is under
G
mailboxes.
mailboxes.
G mailboxes. Yeah, first I put it in there and I thought that's what it would be, and then I wasn't sure, so I struck it out myself. Let's see here. Monuments and markers. There again, I didn't know why we were dealing with this in a subdivision ordinance, so that's why I struck it out. But there's a reason, we can put it back in.
I mean, the only reason to leave it in is that it facilitates when people get surveys on their property, right? I mean,
If that's a type of marker it's referring to.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's what it
But
is.
monuments and markers have to be left if they're placed, and the surveyor's going to place them when he surveys.
But they're never left.
Or never what?
They're never left.
You mean when they subdivide it, they pull those up,
Yep,
even if it's a section mark?
yep,
Is that legal?
nope. Who's enforcing it?
Okay.
When I started county surveyor, we planted one section corner 5 times in 3 years.
Okay, all right.
So maybe we want this back in?
The monument is something that's above grade and visible and public.
Sure.
Right, so there's a slight differentiation there, so yeah, I think it makes sense to leave it. Seems like a relatively low bar for the developer to put those in.
So want that back in?
You know, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. We're all, maybe he's not here, but all excited about section corners not being marked, but like I say, you mark them, and someone pulls the stake. And now, with the technology we have with the phone.
Right. You got it.
You got
the pin
I
right
mean,
there.
It's something
It's
that's
all based
so
on
archaic in our system.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry, Bill, I disagree, no disrespect, of course, but it's something I deal with every day. Basically, working on drainage issues and property boundaries are always a concern, and the phones are not reliable. They're off by quite a bit. If you want to know where a property boundary is, you need other technology. I agree with the technology is the key here, but I've had surveys handed to me, produced by the same surveyor years later with different equipment, and they correct themselves because the technology has come such a long way. So the phone is not accurate at all.
And unfortunately, for about 10 years, the major surveyor that we had doing business in this county lost his license because he sent his flunkies out to do it, and most of his surveys aren't good.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
right.
finally he lost his license, but.
So you guys want this back in?
What's our verdict?
I do, but
I don't think it's hurting, I mean, we can leave it in there, it ain't gonna hurt anything.
I'm just saying, most people pull those up.
it happens. It happens.
Now people are thinking, $5,000 fine or.
Well, I think pulling it up technically is a violation of federal law. It's not a local matter.
Most of this verbiage is just removing the UDO comment. And the other part under item B that I struck through is talking here again about open space, and I felt like we addressed that earlier.
Right.
Let's see, ownership and maintenance. I just cleaned some of the verbiage up here on this. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Let's see, what is this? This is. I removed item 3 because it just seemed too restrictive, yeah, and redundant. What is this? Not much there on that one. Okay, what is this? I struck this because this is talking about a very, very large subdivision. And I just thought those are gonna occur so infrequently in our community that we should really put if we get one that's this big, we'd really wanna put our eyes on it and make a case-by-case decision. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Here again, on neighborhood parks, the verbiage seemed to be too much, so I just struck through a lot of stuff. Talking about clubhouse, amenity centers. Neighborhood parks again, sport courts, swimming pools. Okay. Everybody okay with all that? Okay, this one is under the category of road and driveway standards. I just added in some verbiage so there's no confusion. I think this was probably a material addition. All such improvements shall be funded by the subdivider/subdivision developer prior to the commencement of any lot sales and home construction. I don't think I saw that anyplace else in there, and to me, it felt like that needed to be added.
Yeah, I guarantee you didn't see it in there because normally they construct to the house that they're building.
Yeah.
And then move on.
And I
Not
think
always, but.
And I think you could do that on a case-by-case basis if it's a phase subdivision.
I'd prefer it to be like this. I think the road should be
Okay.
there first,
Yeah.
preferably paved
And privately maintained.
and
Yeah.
privately maintained.
And here again, I added the same sort of verbiage. All such improvements shall be funded by the subdivision developer prior to commitments of any lot sales and home construction. Everybody okay with that one?
Go back up to the shall, just to see what the,
Which one, Norm?
Right there.
where they got shall highlighted.
That was there before.
Shall
Not
be
sh-
avoided.
I'm not sure
Okay.
why it was there.
I just wanted to see what it was. That
Steep grades and
Caught my
curves
eyes.
should be avoided.
I mean, maybe because there's a combination of steep grades and curves shall be avoided.
Yeah, they're just wanting to highlight the fact that we need to steer away from those as much as
Well, I
possible.
would say, or whenever it was written, they didn't have shall in there.
Mm-hmm, and it
Yeah.
got corrected.
Right.
One of their changes.
Said will be avoided or something, or may.
May, probably May.
Let's see here. If there's stuff I missed that you guys, I guess, men and women, if any of you saw other stuff that needs to be added in there that I didn't, let me know as we're going through this and we can add it in.
And the copy, the version that I emailed to you, all except for Ken, I don't know if you ever got a version to your
I tried to
email.
open it, and I couldn't, I tried to change passwords and stuff, but if it didn't work.
It should be an editable Word version, so you should be able to go in and do edits also. If there's, and it will tag your name in there, just like it did for him, so it shows that you're the one that made that edit, it shows what that edit is, so we can still review those edits from your end too.
Here under road signs, I just added in here, again, paid for by the developer or subdivider.
And I kind of was hoping we'd be done by about 7:30.
Okay.
Staff and I would do this.
Let's see here, where's a good stopping point?
Probably should.
Minimum coverage, there's not much in there. All I did was format this for some reason, okay. Sidewalk and trail standards, is that a good place to
I
stop?
think that's a good place to stop.
Okay.
Make a note of that.
So, we have any business? Do we have any public comment? I'm assuming no public. Both of you.
With this that Heather had sent everybody about the water, I would like everyone to read through this, and then perhaps at the next meeting, we can go over more of this, but also look at this. This is gonna be imperative for protecting our water and things from data centers and that kind of thing. So
No, gotcha.
if you see something in there too restricted, by all means, but I think the guy that wrote this, and it wasn't me,
You want one too, Paul?
did a really good job on it. So,
Where did it come from there?
Jeffrey McMillan wrote this, sent it to me. I forwarded it on to Heather. He is a pastor in Cloverdale, is that right, Bill? And did a really good job on this.
There you go, dear.
Is this the exact same that was sent before?
This is, I don't know if I sent this to you. I sent it to her and then I had her
Well,
to.
I mean, he sent me.
He did send this to you? Yeah, that's the same
I
one.
didn't know if we.
Yeah, I hadn't edited anything yet because I wanted all of them to see it in the original form, and then we can edit it however we like, and he encouraged that, but I think this is a good base for us.
Yes,
and
excellent.
we can work off of that.
And Bill, I want to thank you for what you did.
Sure.
Yes,
Bill.
absolutely.
We're still 90-some pages away from what you submitted, but thank you. for
Yeah.
that.
And you want me to place the water, the one that you're talking about now, on the agenda for next?
Yeah, just so we've got it on there. I mean, it's gonna be not real time consuming unless when you guys go through it, you see things that need to be added, and by all means do so. This is our chance to get it right, or try to get it right anyway.
And it's not any of our, in our preview, but you might, particularly those of you who have farm buildings, your assessment next year will be double. The state put a new formulation.
Yeah, it's gonna be vastly different.
Was it just recently passed?
Yes.
And Dusty and I sat down and just pulled random farms and figured that the new formula and the old formula and every one of them was double.
Double.
And it makes me want to throw up.
I wish I would've known about that.
There's a legislative breakfast in 2 weekends from now.
I know,
But the session will be closed.
The only
Yeah.
thing is, we don't know what the tax rate is. Yeah. We need to come to the sum total of 6.
Right.
Do we get it 4 times 1.5 or 2 times 3? So if the assessments go way up, tax rate goes down, maybe our taxes aren't going to go up, but ours.
Right.
Maybe.
Well,
I mean, it was scary when I looked at it.
if it's as bad as what we've seen up at the AIC from the financial folks, and the bad thing is, the folks that can stand it the least are the ones that are gonna be impacted the most.
Exactly.
We're already losing people, going to have to move out of their houses because of taxes. Taxes and insurance, both, because their values of their home, I
Right.
mean, we had a house fire. You can't build a house for less than $200 square foot.
You can't.
No,
Nope.
you cannot.
I
Can't.
mean, that
You know,
blows
don't
my
you?
mind.
I do know. I do know.
But the average person in this county lives in a more expensive home than what their income justifies them.
Yep.
You know, the people have been here a long time, and those people are getting displaced. I see it in my business. I don't think that's right.
It's not right.
There are 5 jobs between 2 people in my home. I get it.
Are gonna be paying double and triple taxes for the paid.
Especially if you had a low income, because then you're gonna get hit on the income tax side as well. So you're gonna get a double dip.
I'm just trying my best to get this house of ours that burned down by March 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll save 1 year's taxes, because the new house won't go on until the next year.
Till next year.
Just a question or a suggestion, I guess, as far as getting through the rest of this. If I don't want to assign homework like we're all in the classroom, but if we could review what was sent and flag specific sections or concerns, we could go through this much faster next time, because it is a ton of work to go line by line. So if we do that at home, then we can sort of bring concerns here and make our way through it much faster. Does that sound reasonable to folks?
I'm surprised we got as far as we did tonight.
Yeah, because going point by point takes quite a long time.
Like I said, if we got something that's contentious, then we deal with it here, as
Right,
we go
right,
through it.
yeah.
Any other commission member comments? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes.
We'll go watch Boger.
I'll be on your microphone, please.